Okay, I'm really behind, so let's just get right to it. Let's talk about NXT and Smackdown because Raw, full disclosure, is in about an hour and 25 minutes, so I wanted to get this video out before Raw started. I don't know if I will be able to succeed in that, but we'll see. Let's start with NXT this week, and the show starts with Corey Graves, of course, one half of the NXT Tag Team Champions, and he's backstage with Renee Young, and all of a sudden Rick Victor shows up, and quickly after that, Connor O'Brien attacks from behind, and then the Ascension put the boots to Corey Graves. They're like, stay down, Graves. So they pick up the piece of the set. I don't know exactly what it is. It's kind of like, we'll just call it a piece of the set, basically is what it was. It was like part of the interview set. It was like a piece of the interview set. Basically, Connor O'Brien picks it up over his head and drops it on the chest of Corey Graves and just like leaves it there to set on his chest. Of course, the NXT Tag Team title belt is picked up and they raise it over the prone body of Corey Graves as the segment ends. And that's before the show even starts. So, our first match of the evening, it is based upon what happened last week on NXT, where we had, the last few weeks we've had CJ Parker, before he decided to show back up as an active competitor. He basically came out and he was photobombing, or in his words, video loving, showing some video love for Tyler Breeze as he was taking his selfies. And this led to a match, or basically a confrontation. Tyler Breeze a little bit agitated, and basically CJ Parker balled his fist up, and Tyler Breeze hit the dirt and ran away. So that leads up to this match. It's our opening contest on NXT this week. CJ Parker gets Tyler Breeze. So Parker catches Tyler Breeze out of the corner when he's going for his selfies, and he picks him up, fireman's carry, and he does a psychedelic spin or an airplane spin, depending on what you want to call it. Picks him up and tosses him like viciously down to the canvas. Nails a leaping back senton, and when Breeze reaches up to his feet, he ends up in the corner, and CJ Parker charges in with the shotgun knees and a big right hand once again, and this time, of course, Tyler Breeze cowers in the corner, and the referee is distracted. Tyler grabs the cell phone, and he pastes CJ Parker in the face with it, hooks the leg, 1, 2, 3. So CJ Parker loses the match to Tyler Breeze. I don't have a problem with these two having more matches in the near future. Now, I'm pretty sure that's the direction we're going to go here. So, first segment in the books. So we get Emma, and Emma is backstage dancing, and she's dancing, Renee Young, of course, standing there, and it's like, it's personal with Summer Rae. But Paige, I have a guaranteed shot at the NXT Women's Championship, but you know what? It's going to have to wait because I have some unfinished business to settle with Summer Rae. And once I win, I will be blowing bubbles and playing Dance Dance Evolution. So basically Renee's like, I've never heard of Dance Dance Evolution before. It's like, oh, we can play it too, that'd be awesome. So yeah, it's like she has her new bestie. So that's the end of that, and we get our next matchup of the evening. It's Emma against the gorgeous Summer Rae. I think Emma's absolutely attractive as well. She's also a knockout, no pun intended. But I think the women of NXT are extremely stunningly attractive women. And they also can work, and that's awesome. So you have beauty and ability to work. That's awesome. It's like the perfect combination. So, we go midway through the match, and Summer Rae with a foot choke in the corner, and a snapmare, and she locks on the old Jugulator Legs Nelson, which basically, she has her in a seated position, and she puts her very long legs over the back of the shoulders, and hooks them, so she can, it's underneath the arms, hooks the shoulder, and it's kind of like a full Nelson with the legs, and it's called Legs Nelson. So Emma bridges back 1, 2, and a kick out. Summer Rae bridges back 1, 2, and a kick out. So whip in. She goes for the charge. She misses. Locks onto the dilemma. If you guys weren't aware what the dilemma is, it's the tarantula. And of course, it actually gets an ECW chant from the Full Sail crowd. Summer is down in the corner, and she's like slumped down, and Emma charges in with a crossbody to the slumped Summer Rae in the corner. 1, 2, and a kick out. So she goes for a slingshot, and she connects, and goes for the Emma lock, and the inverted STF, or the Indian Deathlock, depending on what you want to call it, and Summer Rae taps real quickly. So after the match is over, Summer shoves her all the way to the floor. She shoves her out of the ring to the floor, and she takes the bubble solution, and she tosses it in the eyes of Emma. So basically, in essence, what she did was, she took the soapy substance that makes the bubbles, and she threw it in the eyes. So she basically got soap in her eyes. So yeah, she was not able to see anything, and Summer Rae mocked her dance as the segment ended. So we get Sylvester Lefort backstage with Scott Dawson, and they're trying to recruit Enzo Amore, who's got a brand new haircut, and it's like a party that no one's in. It's my party and no one else is invited, something like that. It was something to the gist of that. And of course, in there with Big Colin Cassidy, trying to get them into apparently the new stable that Sylvester is trying to put together, the Legionnaires. So basically, that doesn't work out, and Enzo pretty much calls them SAWFT, soft. So that doesn't work, and Scott Dawson says, I like this actually, he says basically, I'm gonna beat Enzo, I'm gonna beat their brains in for 5 to 10 minutes, obviously. And he called them Jersey Shore wannabes. He's like, oh, you want to fight, bro? So, yeah, we're going to get a matchup with Enzo Amore and Scott Dawson. And it's actually going to be our next wrestling match. But we actually go backstage and we see Summer Rae. And Summer is basically walking down to leave the building. And she runs into Sasha Banks, so we haven't seen in quite a while. And basically Summer dresses her down verbally and says, you want to follow people like Paige and Emma? Well, there's a reason why they're where they are, and I am on Raw and SmackDown every week. It's very true. So, basically, Paige and Emma will forever be ugly fish in small ponds. So, I'm up there, and when you guys face off next week, girls in this case, when you face off with Paige next week, you will lose. But you know why? It's because you don't have a backbone. Come on, Sasha, get it together. So, of course, looks like Sasha Banks is going to have to show a new mean streak in order to get it done against the NXT Women's Champion next week on NXT, which will be actually a couple days. Not since I've waited so long to do this. It'll be available on Hulu Plus on Wednesday, and of course, I will have it done on the weekend. So, yeah. We don't have any videos for Saturday for Pop, so no Summer Tarantino, no more AJ segments. We still have Versus, we still have AJ's movie reviews, so we don't have anything like for Saturday. So NXT and SmackDown will go back on Saturday. I have no choice. So we got our matchup, Scott Dawson and Enzo Amore, and we go midway through the match. Enzo got a babyface reaction in this match, so I don't know if they're going to keep him face. I think they might actually have to turn him face. He's more of a heel, but everybody goes with the SAWFT and bada boom, realest guys in the room, all that stuff. They all go with it. They're all completely down. But then again, the Full Sail crowd is very heavy on WWE talent. Like when there's an outsider of the WWE coming in and wrestling an NXT alum, they're going to cheer for that WWE superstar. Like how we've got Antonio Cesaro getting such a babyface reaction when he was facing off with Bo Dallas. So, and even to a lesser extent when he was facing off with Sami Zayn last week in that amazing 2 out of 3 Falls matchup, which you have not seen, go find it as quick as you can and check it out. Sami Zayn and Antonio Cesaro, 2 out of 3 Falls, last week's NXT. So yeah, check that out. It's awesome. So we go midway through the match, and Enzo with a satellite head scissors takeover on Dawson, and this allows for somebody to come out of nowhere. Alexander Rusev comes out, and he basically nails Colin Cassidy from behind, leaves him laying, and Scott Dawson puts Enzo away with Shawn Michaels' old teardrop suplex. Basically a leg hook, like a backdrop suplex with a leg hooked and drop in kind of like a backdrop driver. Basically is pretty much what it was. Got the 3 out of that. So apparently Alexander Rusev has joined the Legionnaires. So he is now at the helm of this new stable with Scott Dawson, and now helmed by Sylvester Lefort. So I don't know if there'll be anybody else. And where's Garrett Dillon? I haven't heard him being fired. I might be wrong. I mean, if you guys and girls out there know where Garrett Dillon is, please tell me, because I don't know. And the D-Squared tag team had a lot of hope for them, but now it's just Scott Dawson as a singles, and I don't have a problem with that. I think it works really well. So, Sami Zayn comes out, and he says he'll face Antonio Cesaro somewhere down the road, but the fact remains he's got to move forward. And moving forward means he's going to be going after the one thing that every superstar in the NXT locker room wants, and that is the NXT Heavyweight Championship. So, said NXT champion, Bo Dallas, comes out, and he basically says that Sami Zayn injured him at SummerSlam Access, and he calls him green, and he basically says that it doesn't matter because you're who you are and I'm who I am, and that's why I'm champion and that's why you're not. You've got a long way to go, kid. So, basically, Sami Zayn just puts it out on Front Street, said, the fans don't like you, Bo. And Sami Zayn is basically standing there while the fans are chanting boo. Well, of course, it's kind of like the old Mr. Burns thing. They're not chanting boo, they're chanting boo earns, like boo earns. Like Mr. Smithers is trying to tell Mr. Burns that they're chanting boo earns, like they're trying to split up Burns versus saying just boo. And it's pretty much what was happening to Bo Dallas. He's like, it's not boo, it's Bo. So the fans chant boo as loud as they can. And Sammy basically just puts it out and says, Bo's scared. He says, are you going to give me a shot at the NXT Championship, or are you just scared? Zeb Coulter comes out. And he says, I warned you a while ago. I want to see documentation that show you are a citizen of this fine country. And Sami Zayn's like, nah, this is stupid. But you know what? As soon as I beat Bo Dallas, I will be more than happy to deport you both straight back to hell from whence you came. And when this is going on, unbeknownst to anyone, Jack Swagger slides in and nails him from behind. So Jack Swagger attacks Sami Zayn, and Zayn fights him off momentarily, but gets caught and nailed with a gut-wrench powerbomb and left laying. And he wow, that's not even a word. He takes the Gazin flag, the yellow don't tread on me flag, and he puts it on the prone body of Sami Zayn. We, the people. And everybody in Full Sail just does it along with him. It's not, there's no, it makes no sense. Full Sail's really strange because you kind of have we know you WWE superstars. We're going to cheer for you. We don't care if you're face or heel. It doesn't matter. But the NXT alums that are not on the main roster yet, then they get regular face and heel reactions. But then you've got anyone that goes after Bo Dallas is going to be cheered. I mean, they cheered Leo Kruger a couple weeks ago because he took Bo Dallas down, and he actually injured Bo Dallas. Well, semi-injured Bo Dallas, of course. They're playing it as Sami Zayn injured Bo Dallas at SummerSlam Access. So, we have that. And next week, it's officially announced, before this matchup, the main event that's up next, that's going to be Sami Zayn against Jack Swagger, and that's going to be next week's main event. You're also going to see Sasha Banks versus Paige, and that's going to be coming up, and we got all sorts of other actions still to come next week on NXT. A lot more, and of course, maybe we'll see if Scott Dawson and Sylvester Lefort can get back in the ring with Mason Ryan, get some more revenge on Mason Ryan. It may end up being Mason Ryan and Enzo Amore and Big Colin Cassidy against the Legionnaires. I think that's probably what we're going to do. I think it's Scott Dawson, Alexander Rusev, and there's one more that we have not seen yet. I'm not exactly sure who it's going to be yet. I haven't really thought about it to think about who it could be. But I think there's going to be a third guy, and Enzo and Cass are going to go babyface, and they're going to team up with Mason Ryan and get over on this new Legionnaires stable. I don't know if that's officially the name of them, but that's what Sylvester Lefort was talking about, so we're going to go do that. Main event, it is one half of the NXT Tag Team Champions, Adrian Neville, taking on one half of the Ascension, Connor O'Brien. This was set up, of course, when the Ascension left Corey Graves laying, and they pretty much put him on the shelf for this episode of NXT. So because of that, we get this main event. This actually was a good match, too. So whip in, he goes for the charge, he misses, and Neville catches him with a spinning back kick. 2 forearms off the ropes, and drop kick to the knee. Finally drops Connor O'Brien, and then drop kicks him to the side of the head, and he gets caught with a... he grabs him by the the little hair he has, and he tosses him over the top rope and does the old Randy Savage style neck snap. He springboards, and he dives in, and he gets caught with a flatliner, 1-2, and a kick out. So whip in, he goes for a charge again, he misses, does Conor O'Brien, which sends him into the buckle, which makes him in a very precarious position, and Adrian Neville follows up with a backdrop suplex, 1-2, and a kick out. So he drags him in the corner, and he goes up top. We think he's going for the red arrow, but he changes his mind and nails the 450 splash, 1-2-3, and Rick Victor attacks from behind, and we have a 2-on-1. He's stomping on Adrian Neville, and then Corey Graves comes out with his ribs taped up from the attack from earlier, and he gets double-teamed, and Corey Graves is in some trouble, and Rick Victor and Conor O'Brien lay him out with Total Elimination 2.0, which is the old backwards rush, the backwards leg sweep, and the that Perry Saturn used to hit of Total Elimination instead of the spinning heel kick that John Cronus used to hit. Basically, he does Rick Victor does a spinning back elbow off the ropes, so that's how I call Total Elimination 2.0, and that is your end of NXT. Good show today. Very enjoyable show. Building towards Tyler Breeze and CJ Parker to have a feud. Again, I don't have a problem with that. Emma still has unfinished business with Summer Rae, and I'm pretty sure that's going to continue. And Summer Rae is now mentoring Sasha Banks, so I would think that Sasha's going to go after Emma now to take care of Summer Rae's light work, since obviously she's on Raw and SmackDown now. Sylvester Lefort tries to recruit Big Cass and Enzo Amore. It blows up in his face, and we see him actually get Alexander Rusev out of nowhere, and he is now joined up with Sylvester Lefort now. So we get Sami Zayn. He's officially focused on the NXT Championship. He basically said Bo Dallas was scared of him, asked for a title shot. Zeb Coulter comes out and basically just questions if he's a citizen anymore. Obviously, we know that Sami Zayn's Canadian. So we have this taken care of, and this was just a distraction long enough for Jack Swagger to attack from behind. So we get Swagger and, my nose itches, I'm sorry. Swagger and Sami Zayn next week on NXT, and that's going to be awesome. And main event, Adrian Neville beats Conor O'Brien with the 450, and of course, they leave the Tag Team Champions laying. So we are still building towards the Ascension versus Corey Graves and Adrian Neville, with the Ascension finally taking the NXT Tag Team titles somewhere down the road. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen sooner rather than later. So that was NXT. Let's talk SmackDown. Okay, so SmackDown, let's go with it. We start the show off with Miz TV, and Miz TV is with The Big Show and Dolph Ziggler. So, basically, The Miz says, you know, we all have something in common. We all stood with 40 WWE superstars on the ramp on Raw Monday night when The Shield and Randy Orton pretty much just left Daniel Bryan for dead. See, we were told we couldn't interfere, and if we did, we wouldn't be WWE superstars anymore. It's time the WWE Universe heard our opinions about the new management, the new corporate management. So, The Big Show says it was pretty much just tough to not do anything, just simply watch the dissection of Daniel Bryan. It's like, talk to Dolph. He drops the mic. So Dolph says, just let Big Show finish his thought. So no one wants to say anything about Triple H. Miz says, I've always been outspoken. And of course, this is when Triple H comes out. He's coming out to bow down to the king. How appropriate for heel Triple H. He basically says, before I came out here, you were saying something. Why don't you finish your thought, Miz? And he's like, dead silent. He's like, no, I'm not going to do that. He's like, why are you in your gear? As a matter of fact, don't you usually do this in a suit? And he's like, you never know when a fight's going to break out. And he's like, well, how about, since this is Miz TV, how about I ask you a question? He's like, no, Miz, you may not ask me a question. Why does everyone want to make this personal? See, it's what's best for business. Randy Orton is the future. Randy Orton is the face of the WWE. It makes more money for everyone, which puts money in my pocket, puts money in your pocket, every single person in this ring. Miz, your only reason you're angry is because you're a former WWE champion, and after you lost the title, you haven't been close to it since. Ouch. And he basically says, I'm going to rectify that right now. I'm going to give you a shot at Randy Orton tonight on SmackDown. He's like, Dolph, you know, I understand why you would want revenge on the Shield. He's like, how about we'll have you to go one-on-one with the Shield in a handicap match. Yay, another handicap match. So, Big Show, you know what? I understand why you're mad, but I'm going to give you the night off, because you need to cool down. I want you to sit down next to Michael Cole and JBL, and I want you to just watch everything that unfolds, and you're not allowed to do anything about it. We got our first match of the evening. It is our WWE title match. Randy Orton defending against The Miz. And this match was actually good too. Orton with a chin lock and Miz elbows out of it. He charges in and he nails Orton in the corner with the Miz line. Goes up top for the crown. Gets caught with a boot from Orton. Orton goes for the snake bite. Gets countered. Backdrop over the top rope to the floor. The Shield come out and they stand at the top of... Well, not the top. The bottom of the ramp, right? So no one else can get involved. We get back to live action, and Orton with a clothesline on the floor, and tosses The Miz back in at an 8 count, goes for the cover 1-2 and a kick out. So he goes for the Garvin Stomp, or his abbreviated version of it, leaping knee drop, 1-2 and a kick out. Orton back to the chin lock. This time Miz fights out of it, and he gets caught with a backdrop suplex, but he flips over, lands on his feet, and a back elbow catches Randy Orton flush, flying forearm off the ropes, high knee lift, ducks Orton's clothesline, nails him with a backbreaker, Steve Corino's old school expulsion, and 1-2 and a kick out. Goes for skull crushing finale. Orton rolls out of it, goes for the snake bite DDT, and it gets nailed. So Orton gets ready to pound the mat like a total idiot he is, goes for the RKO, Miz counters and roll backslide, 1-2 and a kick out. So he drop kicks the knee, and he charges in, does Randy Orton, and he catches him with a knee stunner, goes for the figure 4 on Randy Orton, but Orton valiantly makes it to the ropes in the nick of time. Orton gets on the apron, neck snaps the Miz across the top rope, and slides back in, RKO, 1-2-3. So Orton calls the Shield in. Daniel Bryan comes out with a steel chair, and he nails Orton in the ribs with it. He goes to hit Dean Ambrose with a wild swing, and Ambrose ducks out of the way and gets the heck out of Dodge, and he nails Seth Rollins in the back with it. And, of course, the fans are totally into Daniel Bryan and chanting, yes, 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 the whole time. So we have set the stage with the first match of the evening. Our second match is Rob Van Dam with Ricardo Rodriguez taking on Mr. Money in the Bank, the intellectual savior of the unwashed masses, the man who I will soon have a t-shirt of, Damien Sandow. So, Sandow with 5 knee strikes, side California leg sweep, Kobito, Akiet, 1-2, and a kick out. So he goes for a chin lock, Van Dam elbow and punches his way out, ducks the clothesline, Hurricane Rana, and Van Dam gets caught with a big boot off the ropes from Damien Sandow. So he charges in and he blocks the shot, kicks him right in the face, crotches him on the top rope, stands up, springboards off the top rope into a leaping side kick, goes up top, 5-star frog splash, 1-2-3, and Rob Van Dam wins. But this isn't over yet. Alberto Del Rio, our World Heavyweight Champion, comes out and he says, Ricardo betrayed me. So when you sleep with dogs, you get fleas. So you may have rolling thunder, but I'll make it rain. Basically saying that Alberto Del Rio is going to just run over Rob Van Dam at Night of Champions this month, actually, in a couple weeks. So, our next match is our handicap match, The Shield taking on Dolph Ziggler, and I'll go to the end of the match here. A lot of double teams, a lot of triple teams on Dolph. Dolph ends up getting the upper hand, boot in the midsection, goes for the name dropper, gets countered, and a turnbuckle powerbomb from Seth Rollins. Blind tag, spear from Roman Reigns. We've seen this finish so many times, 1-2-3. After the match is over, Ambrose chokes Dolph right in front of the Big Show, and he can't do anything about it. And then they pick him up and they triple powerbomb Dolph Ziggler to leave him laying. Okay. Next match of the evening, Tons of Funk. Gee, I wonder who they're going to face. And they're going to be going on to this match against Eric Rowan and Luke Harper of the Wyatt family. And, of course, Bray Wyatt is sitting in his rocking chair, rocking back and forth on the rampway as the match progresses. So, Tons of Funk actually get over for a bit. They sandwich... They sandwich Luke Harper between Tensai and Brodus Clay, and basically Rowan pulls the leg of Brodus, pulling him to the floor, and just tosses him into the barricade. Whipping, Tensai gets sent in, and the big boot from Harper. Harper with an avalanche in the corner, discus lariat, tagging Eric Rowan, big splash, 1-2-3. So Bray Wyatt gets in the ring, hangs upside down like he always does, charges in, kiss of death, Sister Abigail, and follow the buzzards. And of course the face of Eric Rowan in the mask, and that's the end of the segment. I really wish they'd do something else with the Wyatt family. Hopefully they will soon. There's a rumor on the internet about the fact that you can't have two stables being pushed at the same time. That's funny. TNA on line 1. Can't have two stables being pushed at the same time, so Triple H is putting more stock into the Wyatt family and the Shield. Then the Shield became members of the corporation, and that pretty much went out the window. And what I'm hearing is apparently we're going to get Hell in a Cell in October. Next month will be the rematch with Kane and Bray Wyatt, so we'll see what happens with that. So yeah. We get our next match of the evening, which just happens to be our main event. Daniel Bryan taking on Ryback. So the reason this match is set up, I didn't even mention it. Vicky Guerrero is incensed at Daniel Bryan coming out and ruining the first segment, basically saying Randy Orton was getting bullied. That's funny. And pot, kettle, fun to be black, right? So basically, she makes a match with Daniel Bryan, who wants to be a bully against bully Ryback. So yeah, that's our main event of the evening. And he calls Daniel Bryan shrimp, and basically that's it. So we get our next match of the evening. So whip into the corner, and he goes chest first in the buckle, charges in with a shoulder, and Bryan crumples out of the corner. Ryback makes the cover 1-2 and a kick out. So he goes for a headbutt. He goes for a charge, and he goes shoulder first into the turnbuckle, into the ring post. Bryan nails the charging dropkick into the corner on 2 separate occasions, and the leaping seated dropkick in the corner to the seated Ryback. And Ryback goes to the floor to regroup. Bryan nails him with a tope, sending him into the announce table. Randy Orton comes out with the WWE Championship over his shoulder like he always does. Ryback from behind via the distraction, and he nails him with a clothesline in the back of the neck. And he goes for a modified crossface chicken wing. Bryan punches his way out, and he comes off the ropes. Ryback catches him with a spine buster, and he pumps up for it, and he nails the meat hook out of the corner. 1-2. Bryan kicks out. So he puts him on the top turnbuckle. He climbs up. Looks like he's going for a superplex. So, this is awesome. He's going for an overhead belly-to-belly superplex. It gets blocked. Bryan with headbutt upon headbutt upon headbutt, and a big forearm finally knocks Ryback off. So instead of going for the swan dive headbutt, which I thought was what the next spot was going to be, because that's usually what it is, Ryback gets up to his feet and gets nailed with that vicious missile drop kick. And he nails the yes kicks. And then he goes for the buzzsaw, and unlike most people, Ryback doesn't duck, and he gets caught flush with that stiff kick to the side of the head. Bryan makes the cover 1-2 and a kick out. So he goes for the yes lock. He's got it on Ryback. Randy Orton slides in, and he gets locked in the yes lock. The Shield come out. We got 3-on-1. Big Show gets in the ring to try to stop everything. Triple H runs out. He's like, no, you can't do anything. You can't stop this. He orders the Big Show out, and solemnly the Big Show steps over the top rope and walks to the back. Triple H nods to the Shield, and they continue the beating. They pick up Bryan repeatedly, and Orton puts the right hands to him, and they triple powerbomb Daniel Bryan. Randy Orton is handed a can of spray paint by the Shield, and he spray paints no on the chest of the fallen #1 contender, Daniel Bryan, as we end the show with Randy Orton and the Shield standing tall over Daniel Bryan. Okay. So let's talk about what we had, folks. Night of Champions is in a couple weeks. As a matter of fact, I probably won't be able to do a pay-per-view up for Night of Champions. I may actually have to miss that one because I'm home, obviously. No one wants to talk. No one wants to say anything about Triple H or the new corporate regime. And that makes sense because obviously they don't want their jobs to go anywhere. And since apparently WWE, at least not yet, have not talked about the fact that the Big Show has an ironclad contract and cannot be fired, even though I'm pretty sure Super Dave Osborne, what he says now does not go any longer, since he's no longer in the company. So, love you, John Laurinaitis, would you come back? So, yeah, I said that. Want to fight? Anyway, he basically, no one wants to say anything, but it's going to be amazingly over when the babyface that comes out, and it's probably going to be the Big Show. I think the Big Show is actually more relevant now than he's ever been in the WWE. More relevant since he showed up at St. Valentine's Day Massacre and saved Vince McMahon from Stone Cold Steve Austin. And when he showed up in WCW originally, when he was the son of Andre the Giant, that Steve's that lasted like a couple weeks, if that. And all the things he did with the NWO. the Big Show now is more relevant than he's ever been. The Big Show is the key to Daniel Bryan helping fight off the corporate regime that now is a black cloud over WWE. So, it looks like it's going to be Big Show, Dolph, and The Miz. And they're going to be with Daniel Bryan. And it looks like it's going to be Randy Orton and The Shield, which that's 4 against The Miz, Daniel Bryan, Dolph Ziggler, and The Big Show at Survivor Series. I'm pretty positive that's exactly what we've got. I don't say it's a guaranteed match, but I think it's going to happen. Triple H is supposed to work twice before the end of the year. Before WrestleMania. I think Triple H and Daniel Bryan is the Royal Rumble match. I do. I think that Daniel Bryan ends up the WWE Champion before WrestleMania, and Daniel Bryan ends up defending the title against Triple H. He beats Triple H, and of course we get Triple H against somebody at SummerSlam, long day, at the WrestleMania. I really think there's money to be made with Triple H and Randy Orton against Daniel Bryan and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania, but it probably won't happen, most likely. I still want to see Punk and Bryan at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. There's a lot of ways you have to go, a lot of red tape you have to go through before we can even think about getting a match like that. So, it's going to be big when the babyface makes a save. And, for people that thinks that Big Show is going to turn heel, maybe, but Big Show and Triple H are supposed to go at it, so I think they're going to have a match at, I'm going to go with probably Hell in a Cell, if I had to guess. Maybe Triple H and Hell in a Cell or potentially Battleground. I don't know exactly which one's going to be. I think Hell in a Cell's last pay-per-view year is this year, or maybe I might be totally wrong. In October, I believe, Hell in a Cell. We got Survivor Series, and then we have... Okay, yeah, we're good. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now. Before the end of the year, we're going to get Triple H and The Big Show, and that's not a problem. I think the match at Survivor Series is The Shield and Randy Orton against Bryan, Miz, Ziggler, and... excuse me. The Big Show. So, that'll be good. I like Randy Orton... He's getting booed out of the building, even when he does the Heisman pose. Doesn't matter anymore. Even does his Randy Orton pose. That's not the Heisman pose, but close enough. When he does his Randy Orton pose, it doesn't really matter because he's still getting booed out of the building, and it's awesome. And I think the pounding the mat like an idiot like he usually does, it's more of a mocking thing now, and it's more of like, when he was a babyface, it made sense because it hyped the crowd up. With him being a heel now, it's kind of like he pounds the mat because he knows he can finish off his opponent anytime he wants. He just wants to make you understand it is going to happen. It's going to happen soon and like quickly as possible. So Alberto Del Rio comes out after Sandow loses to Rob Van Dam. Of course, we had nothing from Damian Sandow and Cody Rhodes feud this week on SmackDown. They'll probably pick that up either tonight on Raw or Friday on SmackDown. Depends. So Van Dam and ADR at Night of Champions. I don't know if we're getting a new champion or not. It just kind of depends. It could go either way. The Shield beat Dolph Ziggler in a handicap match, and they leave Dolph laying. So obviously, Shield and Orton are going to get there sooner rather than later. It's going to be a huge pop. I wish we knew what to do with the Wyatt family right now. I don't want to keep seeing the matches with tons of funk, and I don't want to see matches with the Usos, which now I say that, it'll probably be the match on Raw tonight. I want to see matches with Bray Wyatt, singles match. And rumor has it it's supposed to be Bray Wyatt and Christian, which I think that'll start either tonight or Friday SmackDown, or maybe both, potentially, to build up to the Wyatts sacrificing Christian. And that sounds bad in so many ways. I did not believe it was going to be that bad when it was going in my head. I really should have thought more about my choice of words there. Sorry about that. And Daniel Bryan beats Ryback. Ryback is looking at a big push, I think, in the near future. And I like the bully Ryback character. And I know everybody was saying that they're talking Goldberg and Ryback at WrestleMania this year. I don't know. Maybe it could happen. Goldberg's basically said that he wants nothing to do with working with Ryback, which basically is wrestling vernacular for, yeah, it's probably going to happen. So, a lot on this episode of SmackDown, more storyline progression, but a lot of non-storyline progression. We didn't talk about The Miz and Fandango this week either, and that did not continue. And of course, Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow, that did not continue this week. But we've got Raw tonight, and of course, we have SmackDown on Friday to get to that. So that was NXT and SmackDown, a very abbreviated version. If you like these videos, tell your friends about them, leave a comment, do subscribe. If you want to tweet me, you can. It's at SirOwenDisney. If you want to email me, it's SirOwenDisney@gmail.com. Or if you want to friend me on Facebook, you're more than welcome to. Owen Disney, very easy to find. And I will talk to you fine men and women out there in YouTube land tomorrow, when we are going to be talking WWE Monday Night Raw, which I will be watching in T-minus 45 minutes. So, until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I gotta say about that.